Chad Brunick,
Here.
Mike Chandler,
Here.
Daryl Holmes,
Here.
Tim Nags,
Here.
Harold Kibbe.
Okay, thank you. Now let's do the pledge of allegiance.
We got a flag here. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United
United States of America,
Republic for which it stands, one nation, under God,
indivisible,
justice for all.
and justice for all. Okay. Next up, let's consider approval of the consent agenda.
Yeah, in your packet, the board book premiere, and again, thank you for jumping in there and we're taking a look at that as we venture into an updated software platform. But within there was the minutes of the April meeting, which was again virtual, and the Board of Education bills for your consideration.
Motion by Chad Brunick.
Chad,
Support.
want to support?
Okay, any discussion? And we need to roll call on that, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Ona Booms,
Yes.
Chad Brunick,
Yes.
Daryl Holmes,
Yes.
Tim Nags,
Yes.
Mike Chandler,
Yes.
Ken Bowman.
Yes,
Thank you.
motion approved. Next, consider approval of hiring Beth Hodge for the school psychiatrist, pending results of drug screening and criminal history record information.
Brenda?
Yeah, that's me.
Brenda.
Hi.
Hi, Brenda.
Hi, Beth is joining us so that you can see a name and a face together. So she is on the line. But I'm really excited that we interviewed Beth, and she has a lot of experience working in schools. She has experience both in the capacity of teacher consultant and psychologist, and we have an opening that's coming up due to Paul Brown's retirement. So Beth would be filling that position. And Beth has also worked, she's worked for Van Buren ISD, and she's also worked for the Lenawee ISD as a behavior analyst person. From Cal University with an ed specialist degree and a master of science degree in psych, and she also has her undergrad degree from Western-Michigan University. So we're really excited to have her on board and the wealth of knowledge that she's going to bring with both her consultation and her behavior background.
Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Motion Chandler.
Okay,
Second.
I got really on.
That's
okay, so we have a motion and support. Any discussion?
sounds like we're lucky to get her with all of her experience and stuff. So
Mhm.
That's up, yeah, that's for
Very
sure.
lucky, yes.
sounds like a great fit.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited for the opportunity.
Well, they haven't heard it. Come on, just another 30 seconds.
Okay, no more discussion. Let's do a roll call then.
Ona Booms,
Yes.
Daryl Holmes,
Yes.
Ken Bowman,
Yes.
Tim Nags,
Yes.
Chad Brunick,
Yes.
Mike Chandler.
Yes.
There you go. Welcome, Beth.
Thank
Congratulations.
you very much.
Welcome.
Thank
Welcome.
you.
Yes, thanks for joining in so that we can put a name and a face together. So
Yeah.
glad you're able to
Yeah.
make it. Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Okay, next up, consider approval of Casey Van Alts for speech therapist. That'd be Brenda also, right?
Yeah, that would be me too. So we have an opening coming up due to PK Harrison retiring, and so we interviewed Cassie Van Alst. Cassie is Julie Van Alst's daughter, and Julie has been a teacher consultant with Wexford-Missaukee ISD for a very long time. So we're also excited to be able to bring her to board for consideration for hire. Her position would be a speech and language therapist. She's currently working in Anchorage, Alaska, and she would like to come back home to the Cadillac area and work with Wexford-Missaukee ISD. She has a master's degree from Central Michigan University, and she also has, she received CMU's Honors Program Outstanding Service Award. So we're also very fortunate to have Cassie wanting to work for us this upcoming school year.
Okay.
I'll support that. That's Tim Neggs.
Okay.
I happen to know Cassie and the family, and we're lucky, just like with Beth, we're very lucky to get a couple very qualified candidates.
Okay. So we have, you're making a motion. Do I have a support then? Or do we have a
Support.
support? Okay. Daryl.
Good.
Any discussion?
Same with Tim. It sounds like we're lucky to get another one back and another hometown person. So how exciting.
Yeah. It's nice to see them coming back to where they were from. It's kind of neat.
Yeah.
Okay, with that, let's do a roll call.
Tim Neggs,
Yes.
Ken Bowman,
Yes.
Tony Booms,
yes,
Chad Brunick,
Yes.
Mike Chandler,
Yes.
Daryl Holmes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thanks. Welcome. We'll welcome her on, and we're looking forward to seeing her this fall. Next up is consider approval of job descriptions. Dave?
Yeah, there's several years ago, we did, lots of job descriptions, and one of them that was never approved by our board officially was the maintenance supervisor. That's currently Rick Johnson. And then with Melissa's pending departure into the next chapter of her life, the directors and I met, we went through her current job description. Not significantly, but enough that I wanted you folks to approve it. So there's 2 job descriptions there to approve, and then we'll post Melissa's position moving forward.
Okay. So do I have a motion?
Motion by Chad.
Okay. Do I have support?
Support Neggs.
Second.
Okay. Any discussion? Okay, we get to do a roll call on this one too.
Tony Booms,
yes,
Mike Chandler,
Yes.
Chad Brunick,
Yes.
Daryl Holmes,
Yes.
Tim Neggs,
Yes.
Ken Bowman.
Yes. Okay. Next up, the administrative reports, business services. Katrina.
Hello. I don't think it's a surprise, but the state's budget is not looking good for schools. And today it became clear that it's very likely that we, both as an ISD and as a local school, will see reductions in the current year's funding, which is really bad news since we are 45 days or less from the end of the year. Exactly how deep that cut is, only time will tell. And so I think it's going to be a rough 45 days for the people that are doing budgets for schools. So be patient with everybody and get through it somehow. And do you have any questions for me?
No.
So this is Chad. Did I hear you right, Katrina, that they're looking at a per pupil funding cut for this current year as well?
Yes.
Okay.
For that. $650 to $700 is what was said this morning.
Okay.
Yuck. Out.
Okay. Any other questions for Katrina? Thanks, Katrina. Next up, Tim.
Sorry, hate to interrupt. I had a question for
Sure.
Katrina, but I figured out my mute button. I had to turn it back on.
Okay.
Katrina,
Yeah.
if we're doing the flat rate again, do they realize that that's hurting the poorer schools more than the richer schools? Because our percentage of cut will be a lot higher than someone getting $13,000 per student. If you go percentage wise, 600 to us is a lot more than 600 to 13,000.
Yes. The state, and I guess, to be clear, 650 is not an official number. They have to determine how they're going to do it, and they can do it in a variety of ways. They can do it either as a per pupil, or they can just do it as a negative line item, a negative supplemental budget. So it's hard to tell. I'm not even sure they can figure out what they're going to do before our June 30th budgets are due. And that is pretty concerning because how do you do that? At the same time, the out-of-district schools, depending on how they do it, potentially don't get hit at all. Especially if they do it as a per pupil, because they get more in property taxes than their per pupil allowance is. So it decreases.
Out of formula.
Yes, the out of formula schools.
Gotcha.
So it's really unfortunate because up until today, they were saying, don't worry about 1920. 2021 is going to be really bad. But 1920, we understand you're so close to the end, we're not going to cut that. But today, they changed the story today.
Okay, thanks.
Thanks, Katrina. Anybody else have any more questions for Katrina? Okay, we'll move on to Tech. Tim.
Yeah, so we're starting to just wrap up our learning plan for this year, and now the staff is transitioning over to shutting down the building for this year, making sure all of our invoices are out there and our labs are ready and cleaned up for next year. And then we're starting to have discussions with our staff about planning for next year, knowing that we don't know what it looks like, but we definitely have about 3 options that we're looking at, and asking my staff to start considering what that looks like when we start in the fall. If we have to go, for a fully still remote learning, or we can have students in the building, and what that would look like if we have to do social distancing. So we're starting to transition kind of right now, but so the staff is busy and at it. Other than that, that's all I have.
Okay. Any questions for Tim? Thanks, Tim.
You bet.
You got a question, Laura? Or no? No. Okay. All right. Next up would be education technology. Josh isn't there, correct?
No, but he's at a point now where we're starting to deploy staff out more. Buildings are opening up a little bit because they've still got to, close a year and get ready for another year. There's a lot less concern about, staying at home and staying away. Their staff is getting busier and busier and busier. I think it'll be their craziest summer ever. We'll leave it at that.
Okay. Thanks. Next up, General Ed. Lisa?
Yeah, so we're working on transitioning a lot of the professional development that we do to virtual. So making that engaging and keeping people paying attention, and working in small groups via distance is a challenge for our staff. So they're doing a lot of work with different technology tools and do that and productive. Starting to think about some transitioning for next year and working with teachers on how to have conversations about where students are as far as learning levels and what things need to be picked up next year in the fall.
Okay. Thanks, Lisa. Any questions for Lisa? No? Thanks, Lisa. Next up would be Arts Education, Brenda.
Just like Tim is working with his staff to look at, plans for the school students coming back next year, or possibly having 3 different scenarios. Special ed department is beginning to do the same. We're also looking at our summer programming as well for our 200-day programs and what that might look like, and whether or not the stay-at-home order is going to be lifted, or if we can still do things at a distance learning, or if they do come back in July, how are we going to socially distance everyone safely? And so we're making plans for that.
Okay.
And that's all I have for my report unless somebody else has any questions.
Any questions? No. Thanks, Brenda.
You're welcome.
Okay, Dave, you're up.
Alrighty, relatively brief. Just some notes about this coming Wednesday is our shared superintendent meeting. That'll be Tim and Ken joining Mary and Margaret at Manistee ISD. And then next week I'm looking at, and I sent an invite out. I'm trying to be conscious of you guys' schedule. It works for Ken. I know that Willie, Thursdays might be your day off. And Tim, I understand you're concerned about Thursday afternoon. So looking at next Thursday morning, I sent an invite. Just let me know that's for the finance meeting where Katrina and I can talk and we can share some numbers and things with you. I'd like you to see before you go to the June board meeting, which prior to the June board meeting, we have the truth and taxation hearing just prior. So I'd like to have that finance meeting well before that, as that will obviously kick into gear. And then the June board meeting will be right after the hearing, the taxation hearing. And then in July, hopefully we're back full time, being able to meet in person so we can have dinner. And over that dinner, I'd like to do a 15, 20-minute little tutorial lesson on the new board book Premier, because there's a lot of powerful tools in it, and we're still working out the bugs to make it user-friendly. One of the ones that's pretty interesting is that you get, as a board, you can go in there and click a button for when you have a yay or a nay. You can vote all electronically. We can do roll call. A lot of things can be done electronically. It automatically will calculate or formulate the minutes. So there's some power. We just don't have it all harnessed yet. So looking at maybe in July after we have some more time, Melissa and I to play with it and work those bugs out. So I just want to share that with you. We did have, Katrina mentioned the budget. I know that it's certainly the number one thing on all the superintendent's minds. We had a legislative update today, really asking us to push our legislators to, come up with as much softening of the blow as they possibly can, with flexibility with CARES Act dollars, kicking the Office of Retirement, the ORS, what's that called? Down the road, for the lack of a. What's that?
The UAL.
Yes, the UAL. What's that stand for?
Unfunded actuarial
Liability. Using some of that to kick it down the road farther, just to get us through. I know that there are some superintendents that are, just making the assumption, all right, our fund balance is healthy, we're going to use that to get over this, and that's okay. It's just, is it just a one-time thing? You got to worry about the compounding, right? The compounding. What does that look like? Because right now the cut, if you total it, so around $1,200 is the number they're throwing out, puts us back to like 2011 foundation allowance number, 6,000 something. So that's not good. That's layoff mode for districts. So we do have to push our legislators to work together and come up with a budget and how that's going to at least affect or negatively affect schools. So the northern region, which is pretty large area, several ISDs, about 7 or 8, and all the superintendents that are within those ISDs, they're going to have a Zoom meeting. We're going to get Wayne Schmidt, who is the chair of K-12 appropriations, Senator Vanderwall, and then another representative senator that I don't know as well. We're going to do a Zoom meeting with them just to give them our input, and looking forward to that, because we've got to make sure that we're talking to them. We just can't let them make the decision on their own. We have to make sure we've done our due diligence on supporting our districts, because we were told to hold staff harmless, which we did, and now they're going to punish them, which doesn't make any sense. But moving forward, it is certainly gloom and doom. But like Katrina said, we'll get through this. Other than that, unless you have questions for me, that's all I have.
I guess not. I guess we're all set. Thanks, Dave.
Yep, you bet.
Now we'll go up to the section of introducing visitors, guests, and delegations, and public comments. So anybody have any public comment they'd like to bring up?
Anything on there, Trent?
No comment. Okay. And then now, does anybody have any miscellaneous business they'd like to bring up? Any of the board members in that, or staff? Okay, I don't hear any, so then I guess we'll move down to your adjournment. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion, Chandler.
Okay. And do I have a
Willie
second?
support.
Okay, Willie supports. Cool.
Who was the first one, Chad?
Okay.
Ken, who was the first, who motioned?
Mike Chandler.
Okay, thanks, Mike.
Yeah.
Willie. All right, thank you.
Okay.
Roll
All
call.
in favor, please say aye. We can do voice vote on this one, looks like. So anybody ready to say yes, we're ready to adjourn. So they vote aye.
Gotta do roll call. Still gotta do roll call.
We have to roll, well, there's no asterisks on here, so that's why I got confused, you know?
I put them on there. It must have been after you looked at it.
You missed the adjournment part. So I was following my script. I was doing pretty good, you know?
You were.
Yeah.
She's starting her retirement early.
Yeah, exactly. I'm slacking off. Okay, Ken Bowman,
Yes.
Tim Nags,
Yes.
Patrick Brunick,
Yes.
Daryl Holmes,
Yes.
Ona Booms,
Yes.
and Mike Chandler.
Yes.
Okay.